Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano and Bitcoin. In this video we're taking a look at the Cardano and the Bitcoin chart, and overall today the market continues to move to the upside. A lot of cryptos moving up here, especially here Polygon Matic. We had of course AVAX and Terra Luna currently outperforming a lot of them, but a lot of them are doing well, really well. IOTA, I'm surprised to be honest, but it's moving well as well. And yeah, they're all looking okay at the moment. They're all looking okay with a few exceptions here and there. And we start with Bitcoin before we take a look at Cardano. We can see here on the Bitcoin chart that on the daily we had a candle yesterday. The candle closed above this descending wedge, which is great. Closed also above the 13-day EMA, which is great. So we're just finding support there at the moment. Now next level is to get through the 21-day EMA. But the daily candle closed successfully above the descending wedge, which is great. And that's what I said earlier in the week, that I would expect a breakout out of that this week. We don't have the massive volume still, so volume is still fairly low, but I remain confident that we're now moving as expected here on this, in this pattern A, B and C. So this will materialize hopefully throughout the week. It's still very early in this sort of beginning uptrend. You know, it's still not very clear, is this really an uptrend that is starting here? But I think it's starting to look like that. A lot of green candles here, a little red correction candle, 3 more green candles, even one candle getting larger than the next one, and then we have another small red candle now. But I think we are approaching resistance now. That is why we're struggling here to get through here exactly at 49.2k. We were rejected there, yeah, as you can see, exactly at the previous high. So we made a higher high yesterday. In this W bottom here, we came above that previous high, but we now need to get above that 49.2k. We already were at 49.5, haven't quite reached the 50k level. We need to do that to climb above the 21-day EMA, which is here. We already climbed above the 13-day EMA and find support there. As you can see, very, very accurately climbed above it and touched it and found support. So we basically bounced off that EMA, which is looking decent. Yeah, so in my view, we are going to move higher here throughout the week based on this ABC pattern assumption, and we will get into this target area. That would be ideal. That would be as expected then, between 55 and 63k. And yeah, I think this would be the preferred scenario for many, because many people would then have the possibility, if they want to basically cash out in this target area or sell some of their crypto before the price then drops in a final sell-off. Bear in mind, this is not financial advice. This is what I'm going to do, based on the assumption that we have a final sell-off here, probably in Q1, going into the 20 to 29k area. That will drag down a lot of altcoins as well. And this, in my view, moving out from this yellow area down here will happen fairly quickly. You know, I did say that before. So far everything's happening as forecasted, so it's still very early, so it could just be a fake out still, but it's getting less likely as we are closing already on the daily above this descending wedge, and the next level is to get through this 49.3k. so hopefully we see that today. There is strength in the market in my view, even though we don't really have the volume, but it's looking good. You know, a lot of green candles. And on the daily, we have so much scope to move up here. As you can see here, we are very low on the RSI on the daily, and this allows us to move up very, very high until we reach the overbought level here on the daily. And on the MACD, we see the MACD is continuing to go up, and we had this bullish cross. This is materializing now, and this is starting to look good. It seems to be more than just a little bit of a little fake out here that we had back here. Yeah, you can see that. Very, very few green bars here, and also very weak. We had this a few times here as well. We had 2 attempts here to break out on the MACD, but we were in this overarching downtrend. Now it seems like we have finally turned around here, and it could be something like here, where we had a nice turnaround in the MACD, and you know, after that we had nice rising prices. So it remains to be seen where we are getting to. We have a lot of potential here to move up all the way up to 63k. Could even move up to 65k in my view, but I think this is unlikely in this wave B. So with Cardano finally moving up as well as we speak touching the 130 level. That's something unusual, I would nearly say. But you know, Cardano is a great project, and it's a long-term one, and that is why I'm holding on to my ADA. It is just here to stay, in my view, and we see more and more adoption of Cardano, partners, and a lot of projects now coming live finally. Yes, it took longer, absolutely, and there are points of criticism, as absolutely, so there's no reason to make everything nice and everything, but it's starting to move now. And you know, also fundamentally, in my view, it's, for example, one of the best cryptocurrencies to stake. That is a huge advantage. Transaction costs are low, and with Hydra coming hopefully next year, that will have a major impact as well. I think that will, you know, there is obviously the focus has shifted from Cardano to other blockchains at the moment, because the Cardano team, they've been not the fastest, but we know that with Cardano, right? Cardano has always been behind a little bit, but they're also innovative in some other areas. You just don't see it necessarily. It's their approach, you know, it's their scientific approach. They basically get everything right first time, so there haven't been any failures in 4 years and so on. So they are doing that. It just takes a bit longer. It's just the approach they've chosen, and you know, if you invest in Cardano, you should know that. In my view, there was a bit of hype, yeah, early in the year, and you know, this basically led the price to go up too much. We're now in this correction, but it will turn around at some point, you know, and we already came down lower than I thought, but we are currently turning around here at the moment. But it's, again, too early to say this is really a breakout or anything. But yeah, I think Cardano is here to stay. You know, I'm waiting for those DEXs to go live. Some went live already, but I'm just waiting for more and more to go live, and more projects coming. We have the first metaverses coming on to being announced and so on. So, you know, it is here to stay. It's not gonna go away, which is good. Does it remain in the top 10? I don't know. Maybe not. But again, you know, this is shifting around all the time. So Cardano, in my view here, we came up early in the year in this wave 1, came down in wave 2. There have been a few questions about that. In my view, we had here, back in April, we had an ABC correction. So this was a wave C. After that, we started a new wave 1, came down in wave 2. Why is it a wave 2? In a wave 2, you come down typically quite a lot. So we came down here nearly to the beginning of that wave 1, you know, and then we carried on here, yeah, wave 1, 2. We did not start the wave, well, we did start the wave 3 to the upside, come down too much now. So this is not a wave 3. Well, this is sort of a wave 3, but it is wave 1 of a low degree in a wave 3. Yeah, so the green wave 3 will be somewhere up here. There you go. There's the wave 3, yeah, in green, because you started your, after the wave 2, we started the wave 3. But in a wave 3, if you come down too much, you know, this was not the peak of wave 3, absolutely not, because we are now coming down too much. We're coming down to the target area of wave 1. So this cannot be wave 4. That is the reason why I say this is still the green wave 3. We're just waiting for the turnaround here. Basically, within that wave 3, we were in a lower level wave 1, which peaked. Now we're in a lower level wave 2. What does confirm that, in my view, is that we're coming down quite a lot again in a wave 2. That's what many cryptos are in a wave 2 at the moment, yeah. But a wave 2 also consists of this ABC. So we are in an ABC within a wave 2. A wave 2 is corrective, and a wave 2 contains an ABC. And after that, we are going to go up here in a wave 3, purple wave 3, within a green wave 3. After the purple wave 3, you get a purple wave 4 and a purple wave 5, which would complete that green wave 3. Hopefully that was not too much early in the morning. It might have been for me here in the UK. It's early in the morning, so nevertheless, I think that is where we are. And to not invalidate that pattern, we need to find support at $1. The moment we seem to find support here, as I said before, on this 0.887 fib level at 124, 125, and the orange ascending trend line here that we have is basically a technical target, an ascending trend line, that has provided support a lot of times here before. This 0.887 fib level has been, for me, like the last key support based on the fibs here in that wave count that we're currently in, to really allow a turnaround into a bullish scenario. Now, the very last level would actually be that starting level of that wave 1, but the last key fib level here would be the 0.887 fib level. And yeah, we are currently bottoming out here as it seems, and we are also moving together with Bitcoin now higher. That is very early though, again very low volume, pretty much like we see it for Bitcoin, very low, but it's a good sign again that we broke here out of the pattern to the upside. There wasn't much space left here. As you can see in the chart, we were being pushed down here by this descending trend line, and here we had the ascending trend line as support. Really price getting squeezed, a little bit of volume here as you can see, but not much. Good sign though that we're moving up here, but we're not yet above the 13-day EMA, but good to see we already touched the 130 level, so that is very important. The next key level we really need to get to, where we actually see some sort of a confirmation that we move higher here, is the 145 level. That is the 0.786 level. I think it might take a while to actually get there. If we get there, we need to climb above that to really find some solid support again, but it's the first good sign that we start to move here, and that yeah, while Bitcoin is moving up further, I do expect a continuation for Bitcoin. So this should materialize in a continuation to the upside for Cardano as well throughout the week. Bear in mind, for Bitcoin, we are not, you know, it's not safe to say that we're continuing to go up from here. We also have the other scenario still possible, that we actually don't see this ABC correction play out, but that we're actually going to go down further. And I did explain that in previous videos before we then go up a little bit. Both are still valid, but the more likely one for me is this ABC correction, which is why I have it on the chart. And both, however, both of these scenarios will end in that 20 to 29K area. Yeah, and we are moving high here. We're already back above 49K though, and Cardano follows Bitcoin carefully. Let's hope for a good week for Cardano. It's been slow, you know, the chart doesn't look very strong, and we don't see the volume at the moment, and Cardano really seriously, the bulls really need to go in here to push the price higher, to allow for a buffer between Cardano and the $1 level. And if we take a final look at ADA BTC, we can see that we found support again. So yesterday it looked like we were dropping below this support line here. We are now finding support with Cardano following, which is positive. So we're actually following Bitcoin at the moment, as you can see, actually outperforming it a little bit here overall, because we are on an ascending trend line here. But yeah, nothing too meaningful. Also, we're still in this pattern. We need a breakout here to the upside. And overall, you know, very outperforming in a very short-term scale, because since the peak here in September, Bitcoin has been outperforming Cardano. That's the ADA BTC chart. And we missed, obviously, this turnaround here at this ascending trend line. There was a bit of support, but we missed it. And we're now here at another support level in this descending channel. We need to break out of this descending channel to really mark a reversal for ADA BTC, where then Cardano would outperform Bitcoin. And it happened so many times before, just waiting for that moment where it's turning around. In all these periods where Cardano was moving up against Bitcoin, it was outperforming it, and then you always had the slightly longer periods, which just took longer from a time perspective, where Bitcoin was outperforming Cardano. So there will be, it's always going in cycles, so we're just waiting for that, and it can't be much longer in my view. So that's where we are currently on the Bitcoin chart. While we speak, Bitcoin is continuing to climb, but let's hope for a good day and a good week. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.